Hey guys, it is Tuesday of Holy Week, and we're going to be in Matthew chapter 24 still, verses 36 through 51. And let's just read this together, verses 36 through 51. If you have not seen the previous two videos, please go back and watch those before continuing. Context is important. We want to receive the Word of God as it was given, as it was meant to be read. Verses 36 through 51. But of that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. That day, the day of Christ's crucifixion. Verse 37, for the coming of the Son of Man will be just like the days of Noah. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark. And they did not understand until the flood came and took them all away. So will the coming of the Son of Man be. Then there will be two men in the field. One will be taken, one will be left. Two women will be grinding at the mill. One will be taken and one will be left. Verse 42, therefore be on alert, for you do not know which day your Lord is coming. It would be Friday. But be sure of this, that if the head of the house had known at what time of the night the thief was coming, he would have been on alert and would not have allowed his house to be broken into. For this reason, you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour when you do not think he will. Who then is the faithful and sensible slave whom his master put in charge of his household to give them their food at the proper time? Blessed is that slave whom his master finds so doing when he comes. Truly I say to you, that he will put him in charge of all his possessions. But if that evil slave says in his heart, my master is not coming for a long time, that sounds familiar today, doesn't it? All this is in the future. All this is far off. But if that evil slave says in his heart, my master is not coming for a long time, and begins to beat his fellow slaves and eat and drink with drunkards, the master of that slave will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour which he does not know, and will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So Jesus says, in light of my impending crucifixion, my resurrection, the showing up of the Son of Man, this great day of the Lord, in light of this coming this week on Friday, be alert, be ready. And those of us who are now sometime after these events have taken place, right? Are we ready like Christ is doing this work now, doing this harvest now, saving people now? Or are we just still kind of awaiting, oh, Christ isn't coming again yet? No, he is here. In our daily devotionals that are provided through the church website, we say this, verses 36 through 51, referring to the things that would take place before the passing of that present generation. We read that in verse 34 here in chapter 24. Jesus said, no one, not even he, knew the day or the hour of the coming of the Son of Man. We see that in verse 36 and 42, and we'll just read those two verses together real quick. But of that day and hour, no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. Verse 42, therefore be on alert, for you do not know on which day your Lord is coming. So this is just a continuation of the teaching where Jesus mentioned that all this was going to take place within this generation. Only the Father knew. In context, Jesus was referring to his crucifixion and resurrection. We discovered this yesterday in the previous passage. And this means our current time is the time of this harvest that Christ describes. We inhabit the same field, but some are being saved and others are not. Look, do we stand ready for this current harvest? This is a work that Christ He's doing this now. Do we stand ready for this current harvest? This is the day in which, through the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ, we are being assigned our destined places. There is no reason in this text to believe that Jesus was referring to his second coming explicitly. Now, some components may be components of his second coming. We're not going to deny that. But in this passage specifically, Jesus is referring to his death and his burial and his resurrection. The harvest is now and was initiated by Christ's death and resurrection. Christ has his throne now. He's not still waiting to become king. He is doing this work now, and some will be saved and some will not. And so this is just the basic question, right? Do you stand ready? If not, will you come to Christ? Will you come to Christ? Again, I hope to see you on Friday during our Good Friday service, and I hope to see you on Easter Sunday here on campus.